Hi everyone, let's talk about Fields of Green. And to start with, I'll say that I was a huge fan of Among the Stars, which is the basis for this. It's the, if you don't know, it's the building a space station version of this. It's the same thing of drafting the cards, building the the spatial puzzle of trying to work out where each of your locations go in your space station. And there's lots of similarities, but some pretty important differences as well. But I'm a huge fan of Among the Stars, so straight away, as soon as they announced, a variation on that, I was definitely interested. And this comes just about a week after my top 10, where Fields of Green is in the top 10. So if you haven't seen that, then spoilers already. I really like this game. The big differences to Among the Stars are Among the Stars has got a big advantage that it's been around a lot longer, has had two big expansions and a promo compilation set and tons of other promos on top of that. The box for Among the Stars is bursting with extra things and enhanced plastic components and stuff. The box is ridiculously heavy for this small Among the Stars, so that's a good thing for it. That it's got so much stuff for it. On the downside, though, to set up a game of Among the Stars, you need a certain number of basic locations, which need a certain number of cards in each one, depending on the player count. Then you have the special locations, and you need to shuffle up all of your special locations, which at this point is a crazy amount, and then deal out a certain number based on the player count. It takes probably around 15 minutes. Maybe I'm exaggerating a little there. It takes about 10-15 minutes to set up just the deck in Among the Stars. That is the main downside to that, and I've tried to, sort it out by organising the things together, and it's just the nature of how you set that game up. It takes a little while to do. It's not enough to make me annoyed at the game, but it probably would get played more if it didn't have that issue. Among the Stars, Fields of Green doesn't have that issue whatsoever. You have these 4 decks here, and anytime you get new cards, it came with a little promo pack, as I mentioned. They just get shuffled into the deck that they come from. And so straight away, that reduces the setup time to, that each deck is already in a bag. Just shuffle the deck and place it down, and you're ready. Also, it helps with, in Among the Stars, there are several cards that don't really exist in Fields of Green, where it's get a point for every blue location in your space station, get a point for every green location in your space station. And they stand for things. I forget what they're for. These residential and stuff in the space station. They're not just called blue and that. But yeah, there are things that want you to have a particular color of things, and because you're making this random deck, you can try and make it even, but it can result in a thing where you just never draw that particular color. That in this game, you just got unlucky, and through either bad drawing or everyone conspired and discarded all of the blue cards or something, you just never saw another blue card as soon as you put out the one that gave you extra points for them. And it's not that severe, but the colours can mess you up a little bit just because of the random nature of the cards. In this, the really nice thing where at the beginning of each round you decide, okay, what do I need? I know what happened in the harvest. I know that I make a ton of food, but I've got nothing to do with it. Okay, I'm going to draw a lot of livestock this round, and that's obviously going to get passed around. I didn't show that in the playthrough, but in a game with more players, you have hands of cards and you pass them around as in Among the Stars. So you're not necessarily going to get a lot more livestock, but you're going to get the opportunity. You're going to get the first pick of the stuff anyway, so you're definitely going to get at least 1 livestock from your hand of, you can get up to 4 of something if you really want a lot of choice in it, because you have to have a hand of 6 and you have to pick from 3 different decks, so 4 is the most you can have from something, really. But that kind of mitigates all of the stuff. There aren't any cards in this that are, get a point for every livestock that you've got, but you can kind of work out where your engine is going and get the cards that you need to suit it. And that brings me on to the other thing about Fields of Green versus Among the Stars. In Among the Stars, we are building towards the end of the game. We're getting points as the game goes along. There was still the immediate cards and the game end cards in Among the Stars, but you're trying to get the points and, you know, do things that satisfy your game end cards, of which there were tons more, to just get the most points at the end of the game. In this, you are building up your farm. It suits it perfectly. You're starting out with just a water tower and a silo with one food in it, and through these things that, you know, that the fields generally turn water into food, the livestock generally turns food into money, and you can work out where you are at each harvest, you know, what you need to do to adjust this engine that you're building, this farm that you're growing. You know, we aren't just trying to get the most well, we are trying to get the most points, but that's not all we're focused on, is just, okay, out of this hand, what gets me the most points? You have to be thinking, well, at the end of this year, there's going to be another harvest. What is going to be the most effective in this harvest? I've got some leftover water, so I want to try and get some livestock that uses that up to try and get me, you know, the most money that I can have to go into the next round. It's not just all about what is, you know, what is the most points. It's what can help your farm the most at the current position, and the added threat of, you can't just take things willy-nilly. You have to want to use them or be able to use them, because if you don't, they get flipped and you're going to lose the points. You're not only going to lose the ability, you know, most cards are worth a couple of points, and, you know, throwing away those points is senseless. So you need to really make sure that your harvest is nice and efficient, and that keeps you engaged in not only the long game, but, you know, right here and now, you need to be focused on certain things. And it's got its own things as well. It's not just, you know, a similarity between them. You know, food is an entirely new thing. There's no equivalent of that in Among the Stars, whereas Among the Stars has got reactors instead of water towers, and power cubes instead of water. There's no equivalent for food in there, so it's required for the harvest, but that's an entirely new thing. But enough comparing the two. Fields of Green on its own, I really, really like the game. It was kind of a given because I like Among the Stars anyway, and they do have the same essential gameplay of drafting cards and building, you know, the grid of your cards out. So I was probably inclined to like it anyway. But I really, really enjoy it. The things that I said, the harvest every round, where you have to keep thinking about what is going on right now, and it feels like you are building up this more and more powerful farm as the game goes along. Whereas in Among the Stars, you are trying to score the most points. I've said that a few times now. But yeah, that is a really nice thing in Fields of Green. And yeah, it's just a pleasure to play. It really does, you know, you can see your farm growing before your very eyes. As to, you know, which I prefer, I think I still prefer Among the Stars. And that could be down to the, you know, the sheer variety in Among the Stars, because it's been around so long. It's got so many different, you know, promo packs and things in there, that it's got nice little double locations that spread across 2 cards. It's got tons of, this has got a couple of extra things that I think might have been in the promo pack that I didn't show. It's got an event deck where at the beginning of every year you'll reveal an event that could be good or bad for everybody. And I haven't really seen anything for the future of Fields of Green, but I imagine that this is going to get expanded in the same way. And so, you know, it may overtake Among the Stars in my estimation at some point. But I do feel, at the moment, yeah, my shelves are disagreeing, but I feel that there's room for both of them at the moment. I'm just more inclined towards space and, you know, the vastness of everything that's in Among the Stars, but for, you know, play speed and this sense of escalation and building up, Fields of Green satisfies a different thing as well. So I think that's it. In short, really, really like Fields of Green. It was in my top 10. Was it number 8 or something for the year? It was in my top 10. So I say very similar things in the top 10 video. But yeah, great game. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you for the next game. Bye.